Now, guys, it is time today. We're going to do meta progressions. We already have an array. We have different types of meta progressions. And you can see here that these meta progressions really do kind of resemble stats. Right? So, for example, let's work on one and finalize that first. Okay? Deadly Swarm. We can invest into 10, 20, 50% increased spawn rate for enemies. And then maybe we get a bonus. So in this case, that would be 2 stats, right? One for the increase. Hey, stop it. One for the... No, man, stop it. I almost made a smiley face down here. You see that? Almost had to do this. And I didn't mean to do this. Okay, not forward search. All right. We need to start Vampire Survivors because... Oh, there's an update. Okay, fine. We're downloading it and then we're starting it. Because the meta progression in this game, in my opinion, is really good. All right, let's see. So we call this power-ups here. He has generic stat boosts here. But he also has some more interesting stuff. So, for example, twice per rank allows you to get different choice when leveling up. This one right here. Also, let me go back really quickly. I think in the options, I set... No, actually it is. It shows up. I guess it's just broken font, which is part of the game. Okay. So this is one where it's interesting. And I think we have the revival. Revives once with 50% health. These types of meta progressions. And there we go, here. So, increases the enemy speed, health, quantity, and frequency by 10% per rank. Max 50%. So this is meta progression. Who am I? So why would you put this type of meta progression into the game? Why would you do this? Well, first and foremost, it's a nice challenge for people to get into. They can make the game much more difficult for them, but it also increases the frequency, which means the rewards are also increased, which means you're getting more gold and you're leveling up faster. And so that is something that I can use in a leaderboard, essentially. I can use this as like an additional stat for a difficulty that you could tweak by yourself investing money in. And so that's essentially what I want to do here. Okay. We could make it so that we make enemies spawn more, but maybe even faster, right? So we could do more, like 10%, 10, 20, well, percentage here. Yeah, 20 to 50 increased movement speed of enemies. And so essentially what I see here is, and then I guess 10 or 5, 10, 20% more money. And now that we separate all of these stats, you can see here that these are essentially 3 stats. And a stat in my game looks something like this. What? I guess we already had a stat thing. So, a stat looks something like this. We have a base value. Oops, stop it. We have a base value, an increased value, and a more value. And in order to get the value of the stat, I have functions. So essentially the way this works here, we take the base and we add... I think we multiply that by... how does that work? The increased divided by 100 to get this would be a percentage value. Now that's a multiplier. And then we multiply that by the more value, which by default the more value is 1. Okay. Don't tell him 1.1. 1.1. Message deleted? What are you talking about? Huh? 1.1? Careful, the Metaprogression mechanic might be patented by Nintendo. Okay. Have you heard about Darker and Darker game story? No, I have not. Cakez, what is it? You wanna link something interesting? Anyways, guys, so what I'm thinking of doing is adding a certain list of stats to a whatever that's called. What is that called? Come on. An array of stats to whatever that's called, essentially. And I guess that would look something like if we have a power up. I want to have generic stats. For example, stat. I guess it's got to be a stat array or something. Boost. Why would a player want this before he finishes the game? You should add this last. It's filler content. Oh my god. I'm just not gonna engage. It's fine. I can't treat stupidity. It's impossible. So, I want to give a stat, an array of power. No, a power up, an array of stats. But I don't want them to be generic kind of way, in a way. So, like, I'm gonna tell you what my problem is, and maybe Mr. Ramis or some other person in chat that's really smart, maybe Mr. Real Super Cool, enum, stats, types. So I'm gonna tell you, and you guys will tell me probably that I'm an idiot. So I have different types of stats in the game. You see this right here? And what we can see here, these are Metaprogression stats. You see this? Now, take into account that these are enums, okay? And so, for example, right here, the coins on it is value 62. So if I create an array of stats, of stat count, I have 66 slots in the array, okay? Now, if I go, let's mark this as A, and then I go to struct projectile, you can see that the projectile has 2 of these. Okay, the base values and the proper values. See that? Now, the problem is, if I add more stats here, like 5, 10, 20 more stats, to do my stupid Metaprogression, it will dilute my projectiles. It will make every projectile that I shoot larger in memory. And I'm worried that the largeness in memory is bad. What do you guys have to say about this? Can you make my conscience feel a little bit better by telling me that it's not going to be a problem? Cakez, learn what a filter function is and how they can be used. Design pattern. Average depth versus client reaction. If each stat system was around 1K and you had 1,000 of them, that's 1 megabyte. What's your expected number of projectiles on screen? It's difficult to say, Kefon. I have not limit tested this. Calculate the memory usage and think about how big of an issue this really is. Okay. So each projectile holds 66 stats, which hold 3 times 4 bytes. So 3 times 4 is 12, which holds 12 bytes. And then that's multiplied by 2. That is a kilobyte for one projectile. 1.5 kilobytes for a projectile. because I have all of the stats in there. Unfortunately. I do not have a distinction between... I don't have a distinction between aggressive and defensive stats. I just have an array of stats. How big is 1 minute of music? 6 to 10 megabytes. So that memory overhead is minimal. You think that's minimal? Svekia on YouTube? Sepika? Yeah. Average dev versus client reaction, yeah, is it? Cakes, I just asked the guy and he said you're a liar. If you don't believe me, ask him. Nails. Okay, bro, this guy just can't get over it. See, you can do at least 30 on a C64. Is memory limitations really something we should be worrying about? I don't know. I pass by value on your array type. Yeah, I do pass by value, yeah. I don't. At least in an array. Write now, fix later. Fine, I guess I'll write it now. But I guess, so this is the reason why I'm asking this is because I would like to remove those. Or I would like to do something like this. What do you think about this, guys? Is this bad? I don't really think it's bad. So I'm gonna create another enum. Metaprogression stats. Stat types. Whoops. And then I generate... is this actually here? A type? Okay. And I think I can do an enum. A union. Oh, a stat doesn't have a type. I think... you don't need multiple damage types in this game. I know, but I have them now, and that's what I'm gonna use, bro. I know what you mean. I don't need that, but I have it. I think I have it, guys. I think I have the solution. We're gonna put this in here. Put it right here. Before the power up. I guess we call it... we have power up types already. Wait a minute, we have the type here already. We don't need that anymore. We have this already, the type. And so I guess what we could do here is have an array of power up counts. Ah, I get it now. So this is how it works. The power up type... no, wait. No, wait. We need those. Power up stat types. So what type of stats are we changing? Well, for the first one, we are changing the spawn rate. So that would be a stat spawn rate. Already have that. Okay, wait. We already have the spawn rate. And then stat. I guess that's movement speed though. That is just the normal movement speed stat. Guys. I think I'm gonna do it like this. I think I'm actually... I'll keep this as stats, as normal stats. It is how it is. We do it like this. And then I just need to add... wow, where is this? So far above? Wait. Stat types. There we go. Let's put it here. Let's just get something done, otherwise it's gonna take too long. Metaprogression, yeah, we have this here. Right. There we go. Okay, so each power up now has a stat bundle, I guess. Stats. And I think a stat bundle is called target stats, yeah. Okay, so now each of those power-ups does this. Let's begin with the first one. We need a spawn rate stat. First and foremost, we need to do the type. So that would be power-up. I guess it's not spawn rate. It's called deadly swarm. So first we do the deadly swarm. Power-up, deadly swarm. Power up, deadly swarm. That is going to be this. And then we do the type, which is, I guess we have to repeat ourselves here, but that's fine. And then what else do we have? Sprite ID. I don't have a sprite for this yet, I think. Actually, I do. Those books. We have those books yet. I need to figure out what the book's called though. So I guess I can show you in the game. The Deadly Swan is gonna use this one right here, this image. Let's call it sprite. I think it's underscore book. Underscore? Yeah. Is it though? 15 by 20. And that is the book here, the meta book skull. It's not PoE where you can be flexible with your power level. How will you balance it? I will balance it based on player feedback and based on stats that I gather from playtesters. That's how I'm gonna do it. So for example, I'm gonna make a demo version, right? We're working on the demo version right now. We are building the different needs for the demo version. And you know, with every day, we're getting closer to it. Demo, yeah, it's gonna be a demo, guys. Yeah. And before I put out the demo version, I will create a either through Steam, through the Steam API, or through my own logging functions in the game. I will track the game's, I will track stats, and I will track game events in a list so that I could essentially replay the game. So what I will do is I will have something like this in the game. And we have already, we've already started working on this the other day, but we never finished it because that's not what I want to do now. But I will have these enum events here. And that would be, for example, event start round. And I will track all of these events on which tick they happen, and I will just replay the events. And I will gather as much of this as I possibly can, hopefully through Steam. I hope that Steam just gives me all of these files. So for example, if I tell Steam that I have this file after every playtest, or after someone plays my game, and and that file is sent to a server through Steam API. So for example, I write a file in my game, a normal log file to the computer of the one that's playing my game right now. And then I tell the Steam API, hopefully that works, I don't know, but that's how I envisioned this would work. I tell the Steam API, hey, this file, whenever the guy closes the game, when you're syncing your stuff, please
gotcha, bitch.
Send that over to your Steam server somewhere so I can download it, or send that to a server that I set up so I can see that for myself. And then what I do is I would just, you know, let's say it's been 2 weeks and maybe I have 2 or 3 files because 2 or 3 people played, maybe more people played, because currently I have like 2 players a day, it looks like. All right, he set up, okay, you're banned, bro, like you're making fun of me, I don't like that. Okay, bitch. And then I will use this file to replay the game and take a look at how people play my game and where they stop, where they quit. That's ultimately what I'm gonna do. Steam surely lets you view files uploaded from someone's PC. Well, if that doesn't work, then I need a way to log game events on ticks. So essentially, I will need to be able to log this essentially. Through Steam API. That's what I need to do. Somehow. Maybe Steam can print the logs on paper and mail them to you. That's called analytics. Then you need to ask the user for their permission. Yes, of course. When someone starts my game, I will ask them for permission. Yeah. Guys, we'll see how it's gonna be, but I want this to be like maximum tech, essentially. That's kind. Of course, you have to ask for permission. It's not kind. That's just normal. Do a simple server and send logs. Yeah, I don't know if that's possible, you know, but I'll try to do that. Like, I'll try to connect to the server and then send the logs, yeah. Like, before someone quits the game, it will send that file. I can hard code that in if someone has accepted the analytics. And it will just track game events. And then I can use the game events to replay then that in 10 times the speed, 20 times the speed. And then I could literally, it's literally like creating, almost creating a video for myself to watch how people struggle. Not 100% because I can't see the mouse movement, of course, but I can see what they ultimately do. I cannot see where they struggle. Really, I cannot see where they move their mouse, and if they they hover over this and they're like, okay, what is this? Where do I click? Like, I can't see this when they move the mouse around, right? I'm unable to track that. I will always use Alt F4, not tracking me. Alt F4 still goes through the main loop, bro. It doesn't matter. Hello, Rokwolf Dev. Good morning. And Pingling, thank you very much for following, bro. Welcome. All right, so that's the first one. That's the sprite, and then dot the name. We need a new string name. Let's go into texts. And I guess I'll sort this a little bit here. Requires level, unlock hero. Yeah, we have all of these generic names here. I guess we call it... Do we have Metaprogression here? Oh, we do. String stat name. Wait, Metaprogression? Ah, I see. Okay, it doesn't. Hero names and descriptions. Let's do here. And we call this Metaprogression names. String. And that would be Deadly Swarm. That's the first one. And then we go over to tutorials. Was it above tutorials? Okay. Above tutorials. Right. Metaprogression. Names. Let's yoink this. And this would just be Deadly Swarm. And then that's string Deadly Swarm. Eh? Wait a minute. Did I not? Eh? Ah, it's down here. Okay. Replay can stay in memory. Those events are 16 bytes max. Place tower, etc. Kostaya. Koshatia. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you very much for following. Cakez. Imager. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna let this play and I spawn 2 rounds. You know what? I'm gonna spawn 3 rounds and give these guys some much needed Stats. Let's see if this works. Alright, be right back. It's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of enemies. Right? Oh yeah. Or if it's 14 hours now.
Why does it take 10 days to search for intro time? Why is the program crashing if I search for intro time? Oh my god!
All you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
These fucking softwares!
Oh shit, I'm so relax. Wait, he's dead. He's dead. Wait, I won, right? Did I win? We mutually killed each other. Ooh, double hot sauce. I like that. Oh, excuse me. All right. Get water for some more coffee, okay? We're going to speedrun.
Vegeta! What does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
Today is the weekend. It's really important that we are getting this done today. 100% I believe we are at 0 so far. No, you're wrong. That's not true. We are not at 0. Interesting. That's 10 times, by the way, guys. That's 10 times the simulation loop. Interesting. Anyways, guys, that is really interesting. It is time. So, Deadly Swarm. Let's begin. Game.h. String Deadly Swarm. There we go. We have the name and then the maximum level. I don't know yet that max level. Let's say it's level 5. And then dot level, of course, is 0 by default. And then the stats, the stat bundle. This is where it gets interesting. That's the stat bundle, and then we do dot target stats, which is another array. And then over here we have count and elements. And I think, yeah, we gotta do it like this, unfortunately. Let's say this one has 3 and then dot elements. We can do it like this too. But I guess I want to be specific. So now a target stat has a type. Wow. Man. It doesn't let me do it like this. Target stat. It has a type and a stat, essentially. Okay. And the type is, for example, stat, spawn, rate. And then the stat itself, we can define. We want to have a base value of 1, which would be 100%. And then an increased value of... And I guess that depends, right, on the level. Oh, that's bad. I need to store increased values here. Let me see how I did this in the game. Costs, and then target stat increased 20. I see, so it basically applies that many times based on the level. I get it. So basically it just shows me how much it gives me for each level. I think. Oh, I don't like that, bro. This sucks. Hey, Cakez, you know, you can hold Control plus G and type the line number and enter to move multiple lines at once. I always TP tab when you move up and down multiple lines. Control G, type the line number 5. Oh, I see. I mean, I guess. This is essentially how it looks. And then I would have multiple of these. I don't like this, to be honest. I don't like setting the data up like this. Because now I need to know that I'm changing the increased value by 10% per level. So essentially, spawn rate increases by 10% per level. And the movement speed increases by 10% per level. How do you handle a projectile animation? In the update loop of the projectile. The projectile has a timer and then I just use the timer to animate it. How do I handle sprite animation? I call this animate function here. If you want, take a look at this. How do you handle avoid having to pay taxes? I don't know how to do that yet, bro. You have an entire stat system that you can do on the fly in the game. Why are you doing this? You cannot use... Can you not use that stat system? I can just not use that stat system, but then how else would I do these generic stats? So for example, I need to change the movement speed for the enemies, I need to change the spawn rate, and I need to give myself 20% more money. So now I need to generate a generic Metaprogression. Or yeah, or guys, what's this? No, it's fine. Balls. I think I have it almost. I know what to do, I think. This sucks. This sucks. Like, so the reason why I want to do it like this is so that I could do it like this in the game, for example, right? Let's go to the spawn system reloaded. And then I could say, okay, well, the spawn frequency here, right? This is where I calculate how often they spawn. Well, not only do I need the normal frequency times the ticks per second, I also need to multiply this by the Metaprogression. And that would be, for example, or I divide this, right, by the Metaprogression. In a way, where I say, okay, well, I divide this by power up dot increased spawn rate something, you know, and then the float increased spawn rate would be I don't know 1.5, and then I just you know, divide that by the increased spawn rate, and that is something that I would get here. Oops. That is something I would get here by calling get Metaprogression or something. And so then I have sprinkled throughout the code, and then in the Metaprogression thing, instead of having all of these target stats in an overview, I just have this first part. I just have this. Okay, I only see this. Oh, I hate that this turns white whenever there's an error. I hate that so much. Really bothers me. Okay, so essentially, it would just look like this. Now, looking at this, as a programmer, I can't tell what's going on. I can't tell what it's actually doing. And so I maybe have a comment somewhere that says, okay, this is what it does. But then I still have to go here into specifics of the code. And so essentially what this leads to is spaghetti code, essentially. And in this case, I know from experience that this will be bad. So essentially, if I have the power up here, and then if this is my code, the entire code for the game, I don't have everything here neatly packed in a nice package. I don't have that. No. This would create essentially insertions in multiple aspects of the game where I don't know where these are. I don't know when these happen or where these are. And that is really, really error prone. I want to avoid this at all costs. I need to make this generic enough to where I say, I don't get Metaprogression here. I just get a stat by something that holds stats. So maybe the game state dot, and we could call this Metaprogression stats, right? Meta, or just power ups in general. Game state power ups. And then, you know, that's an array that holds values where I can get the stat spawn rate from. Okay, and then this is always there. And then the cool thing about this increased spawn rate stat here, I can put this on anything. I don't have to have this here. I can have this, I don't know. I could have a level, or like an enemy has an aura that walks in a level, and as long as this enemy is alive, the spawn rate of the entire level is 50% more. And now I have to make sure that I kill this enemy. Otherwise, it's just gonna flood me with enemies. And maybe even over time, this gets more and more and more and more and more. So it's like it could be a timed stat, essentially. That's the ability of this enemy. And so like it gives me so many options to make the game more interesting. And actually, I just had a really cool idea, man. I need to save this somewhere. So, whoa, man, I'm smart. Holy shit. So enemy that increases spawn rate as over time, more and more. Ability needs to be killed fast, otherwise flooded by enemies. Smart. Actually smart. Put it on red and I guess orange. It's really, I think dude finally lost it. He has been rambling for 10 minutes. See, like you guys, see how you guys remember how Coffee Lava told me that I'm smart? You guys remember this? And Ethan, thank you very much for following earlier. I appreciate it, man. Welcome, sir. You guys remember this? How Coffee Lava told me that? You guys just don't ever listen to what I'm saying. That's why you think I'm not smart. You just don't listen to the, you know, to the genius. Was it April Fool's Day? Paid interview? No, he lied to your face. Yeah, sure, bro. Anyways, so we need to have some sort of power-ups somewhere in the game. And I think when I apply power-ups... This is bad. He said you're a smartass? No, he didn't say that. Okay, so we are almost there. We almost have it. Because then I can still do this. There's just one problem. A stat is essentially a 3-component vector. That's what a stat is. If I have a 3-component vector and I want to apply the level to it, okay, let's say we have level 2 or level 3 somewhere in the game stored. We store these levels, by the way, you know, this will be stored somewhere. Then I need to somehow know which stat to multiply the level with. When you meet a smart person, you never have to tell them they're smart. They're disrespectful, to state the obvious. I'm getting coffee really quickly, okay, guys? I'm gonna quickly grab some some coffees. Monies would be nice too. Monies would be nice too, actually, yeah.
To add in a proper options menu in both in the town and in the main menu. I want to make it so that the options menu is now a drop-down menu, or not a drop-down, but like a pop-up. No, it's not a pop-up, but it's like a fuck.
I'm losing. Someone putting his dick in water? What is this? What the fuck? Burger? Ruining your burger? No. I will never ruin my burger. Absolutely not. Uh-oh. This guy is losing.
Oh, come on! This is how I start?
From they have too much life.
That doesn't count, by the way.
No, I did do dev counter ++ yesterday. That does not count. We start out like this. Absolutely not. Alright, so I didn't kill these guys. Okay. Can design more of the meta progression instead of jumping to implement 3 random ideas you're yoink from somewhere. Guys, we are currently working on meta progression. We are building a system. And since I'm starting to get very experienced with adding systems to my game, I know of the pitfalls that I've ran into in the past. I want to make sure that this time I do it correctly. Okay, I do not want to go back to this in the future and have to revisit this. I want to lock it in, and so therefore I'm looking at all of the different ways it could fail potentially, and I'm trying to iron it out before I start implementing. Okay, passing up a chance to use paint right now. No, I don't need to use paint. We already talked about Metaprogression. We already talked about it, and I stored it even. So here. This is essentially what I want to do. This is how I want it to look, essentially. In a way. Okay, this is the UI. You will 100% rework. Morning Inukai, enjoying your time unbanned. Hello Papaya, on YouTube. When are you when are you uploading the playtest? It's gonna take some more time because you can see here that I have my work cut out for me. There's so much stuff that I need to do. So I'm not there yet, unfortunately, bro. I would love to be there. I would love it to be 100%. Cakez thinks the demo is the full game. Guys. Shh. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now, let's think about this. I want Metaprogression power-ups. There we go. And so this is how I did it, ultimately. Costs. It was a Metaprogression power-up. I need an array of costs. I need a target stat and then increased. And I suppose I always had increased. And then when I had apply Metaprogression, I would always just multiply the base by the level and the increased value by the level. And then I would sometimes use the power up, the more stat as a level 2. And so I think that already gives me enough ideas on how to do this. This was generic, by the way. And so that's very important. Now what I could do in the game here, where we have this, I could say, okay, I think it just adds the multiplier on top, does it? If I add two stats together, it multiplies the more value together. That sucks. That fucking sucks. I mean, I don't use more. I usually just use increased. So I don't even use the base value for this. Okay. Unless I do have the hearts. I do add hearts. So I do have to add. I multiply the hearts by the level, the base value by the level. Okay. Okay, I just need to be very specific here then. Alright, so I only use the base and increased values for this.
Gotcha, bitch.
So spawn rate should start with 0. I multiply that by 0. So this is only increased. Movement speed is only increased. Okay. And then what else do we want to do? Gold generation, right? More money. Stat. Gold. On kill, I'm going to remove this. It's supposed to be gold generation. Where's gold again? Fuck, I missed it. I lost it. Where's gold generation? Fuck. Where was it, guys? Gold on kill. I'm gonna call this stat gold generation. Or let's... How do we call this? Is it like a gold... That's for the streamer. You shouldn't be using it. Actually, that's bot. Okay. Let's call it gold generation. Can just be increased. Can only be increased. It's a multiplier, yeah. And then I guess we have to quickly change that to gold on kill. So rename this to gold generation. And over here as well. Diamond, good morning, bro. Gold generation. Hope you're doing good, bruv. Gold generation. And then we could just say gold plus percentage value. This is not used, and we call this gold generation here. Because back then, I had gold on kill. So for every unit that I killed, I would get money. Gold. This time I don't want to do that. I just have different ways of gathering gold in the game. And every time I invest into the stat, it's going to add a percentage on top of that. So instead of, if let's say I have 20%, I pick up 10 gold, I get 12. Something like that. And now we have it called gold generation. And I hope that in the stats... I think the game's broken now on top here, right? Yeah. It's called gold generation. Here we go. Gold generation and... Stat name? Wait a minute. Yo. Eh? Did you mean gold generation? Stats? Oh wow. Really? Cakez, are you fixing amount of gold you can earn through the 50 levels? Or will it be random? It will be kind of random, yes. Enemies have a drop chance to drop gold. Think about Vampire Survivors, how in the level, when you kill one of those pillars in the first level, you have a potential chance to gain gold. That's how I'm gonna do it. Start name gold generation, and then over here start gold generation. Gold generation. Does it work? Yeah. What? String start. Am I stupid? Guys, what am I missing? Am I dumb? Ah, what the fuck? I see. Does it work now? Okay. Ah, I get it now. So this is multi. Doesn't exist. Alright, so let's get this boring part. Are we done yet? Finally. So now we have gold generation in there. And then we can finally go and finish this. Stat gold generation. Now, how much gold generation do we have? 5 per level. There we go. Now we have the first power up in the game. It is called Deadly Swarm. And so essentially the way I want to do this is... I need to have power up stats that are always, I guess they are updated once. They don't need to be updated every frame. What graphics library are you using? I'm no game dev, sorry if that's a stupid question. Lol, that's not a stupid question. F3s. This question is valid. And also there are mostly no stupid questions, bro. And thank you very much for following earlier. I missed that, sorry. Man, that's a good question. The graphics library that I use is OpenGL. I used Vulkan before. Now I'm using OpenGL. It's easier to type in OpenGL than in Vulkan. Alright, let's get rid of all of these things here. It's a bit much at the moment. There we go. How do you hot reload? Sorry if this was a stupid question. There are no stupid questions as these are these only stupid streamers. Hello Sir Cakez, I'm new to the stream. Did you make this lovely art yourself? Especially like the crawling babies? Cakez even said he wanted to try out Andrew Tate's Hustler University. What are you talking about? Is that so? I feel like you see you being toxic every day, so I don't quite believe that part. But Cakez spreading toxic masculinity seems probable. I never said women should not be allowed to vote. You're actually lying. I'm gonna ban you for lies. This guy literally says that I said women should not be allowed to vote. Wow. Is this a stupid question? Sorry if this is a stupid question. That's actually a stupid question, yeah. Yes, sir, Gender. Very nice first message. Welcome, bro. You kinda implied it. I never said anything like that. I never implied anything like this. Never. Not a single time. Absolutely not. What are you even talking about? I never said that ever, because I don't really have an opinion on this, bro. I don't even have an opinion on this. Huh? What are you talking about, bro? I don't really give a shit about this. I don't care who votes. Oh. Holy. Alright, guys. So, we have these power-ups here. We need to put them in the Game. Very good. Put it in the Game. Huh? Yeah. Sedecon's power-ups. Now, we need to somehow have a list of stats somewhere in the game that keeps track of the different types of power-ups and applies them in code in random locations. In essentially these locations. But this will be hard-coded and never changed, essentially. So, for example, the first one would be the spawn rate, the stat spawn rate. We need to, if we press F8 here, stat code generation, by the way. Ah, there we go. We already have that from the killer. This right here is now a global value. So keep this red. So for example here, gold generation. We don't really generate gold when we kill units. We don't do this anymore. Yeah, prefab stats, instant stats, maybe, yeah. But we do want to do the killer stuff here. Level state seeds. Aha. So that would be a different stat though. We call it seed multi. And then that would also be a different stat. That could be something we use though. Maybe. I like how I've been kidding about Inukai being banned for a few days and I finally baited him to get banned again. More stats. Yeah, it kind of is more stats, yeah. So guys, I have a question for those of you who know how to play Bloons. Is there a stat in Bloons that allows you to get more money if you kill certain Bloons? Or is it always fixed? No. Fuck no, that's retarded. Of course not. Ah yeah, you guys pretend it's core balance. No way, dude. There's a hero that does that. Yeah, which hero is that? Which hero are we talking about? Not that I know of, that's just the banana farm. Turns out there are stupid questions, okay. It's just killer next wave. There's a monkey that can cover balloons in gold that when popped get you more. See? I don't remember the name, but I saw XQC do it. Sounds more like a talent. Yeah, it's more like a talent. Okay. Fine. But then I guess we don't do this here. We don't do the seed multi, but we keep the killer. Coin reward. There we go. And I guess we could just increase the coin reward whenever an enemy is killed with that coin reward on. Hello everyone except Cakez. Shut up, man. Leave me alone. I'm doing some 10-head coding today. Okay, so the increased spawn rate, right? I guess we can get it outside here. Const, float, increased spawn rate. How do we get this? We need to get a stat value
the calculations are
from
in
some global stats.
The powers of your brain are overwhelming.
We need to have an array of global stats. Good day, Cakez. Hello, Rico. Good morning. I can put it in the game state and calculate this every frame. It needs to be changed every frame because some enemies add to that, right? If we have an active ability, yeah. I just like your comments on the daily, not wrong, but kinda unrelated. Inu got mental issues, let the poor soul be. Yeah, true. Let me alone, man! Leave me alone, bro! I'm doing some 5-head coding right now and it's difficult, okay? I think I'm gonna put it in the level state. Over here. So the level state will have stats. Actually, stat array. Power ups. There we go. What? Yeah, I guess I'll have to mem set this to 0 every time then. Let me check. Let me think. Let me think. RAII. Is this enough? I don't know. Let's just test it, okay? This is essentially Metaprogression. This is where we would do this. Level, state. Wait a minute, power up. Power up in power ups. Hä? What? Power up. Why is this complaining here? Power up, const, drops const qualifier, I see. I see, I get it now. Yeah. Retard open eyes. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Leave me alone. I'm thinking right now, it's difficult. So now we have the power up. And then we have the stats. And so I guess I do a const stat reference stat in power up dot stats dot target stats, and then this is a target stat. What? What now? This argument member function begin has const is not marked const. How about you fucking eat a dick with your stupid const shit? Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Streamer. Hello, Venus. Good morning, bro. So, and then level state dot first and foremost stat. God. Stat. Wait a minute. Stat. Dot. Stat. I think I have it, guys. Think like this. And then what I'm gonna do, level state, power ups on target stat dot type plus equals stat. And since I don't have plus equals, I'm just gonna do this. I'm assigning the stat. Now, why is that an issue? I do stat by stat. Why are you complaining about this? Invalid operand? Stat to vector 2? Eh? How's this a vector 2? Eh? Are you dumb? What? Stat and stats. Oh. Oh wait, Hä? Oh, I see. C++ is so dumb, stupid compiler. No, it was correct. Essentially like this. So like, it doesn't make much sense, right? It doesn't make much sense. If that makes, if you... But essentially this is just increased only. I guess we do target stat dot base times power up dot level. Okay, maybe this makes more sense. Building new systems like this is always a little bit confusing at first. But essentially, this I think makes more sense. So that is the base value. This is the increased value. And this is the more multiplier. Multiplier. Which is not used at the moment. I don't use it. I probably will never use it in the future. But essentially, that's it. Oh, no, man. I hate being interrupted by the fucking door, bro. Fuck you. I'm just not opening. Fuck, I need to... Don't close the door.
I still can't do it. If I move the mouse so fast, it's so frustrating. This part is so fucking dumb.
He calls himself the Jesus Christ of C++. Okay, bro. I see. So essentially, this is how I would apply the meta progression and reset values right here. Level state power-ups. I would have to mem set that to level state power-ups. I would have to set that to 0 by a size of stat times stat count. No, stat count, bruv. Essentially. So this would reset it, and then this is the meta progression for the level. There we go. Now, essentially, this could potentially already work. And then over here, we can just get the stat value from the level states dot power-ups on the state spawn rate. And this gives us an increased spawn rate, which we could potentially already test. And then we use that spawn rate to essentially affect the frequency at which enemies spawn. With that affected frequency, there should be more enemies spawning. And we can test this already, essentially, because it's all in the game yet. Power-ups over here. We go to Deadly Swarm. We make this level 3 out of 5. And instead of a 10% increased spawn rate, how about we give it a 33% increased spawn rate? AKA at level 3, it should spawn twice as many. Now, I also need to put this calculate enemies left to spawn. Let me see here. This meta progression, let's fold this in. It needs to be here. And it needs to be here. So the increased spawn rate has to be in both of those cases. And I suppose I can just... I guess I put it outside. Nah, I'm just getting it twice. That's fine. And then the spawn frequency would be calculated like this. Why do you mark functions with static in C++? Can't you just define a standalone function instead? Oh, I can. Yeah, I can. I don't have to use static. There we go. Const int. So let's see if this little change that we did works. If it works. If it works, I'm done. Options. Lol, of course you have. Papa, if you figure it out, I can send you a few links. I shared the past that I work on porn games, but I don't think I can drop links here. Yeah, he works on porn games, guys. Inukai. Which I don't think is a bad thing at all. To each his own. Alright. It kinda didn't do anything, because I think the spawn rate base value is 0, which is bad. It's my own stupid implementation here. I would need to take the spawn rate by ignoring the base value. Base value is essentially 0. It needs to be 1 point something. So calculate enemies left to spawn was wrong. And this would need to be wrong as well. Ignore base. There we go. I think that's better now. Let's test. Do this again. Venus. Const does not mean static, and static is its own keyword. Const means a variable that cannot change. If it precedes a parameter, it means the compiler won't let the variable change or passed as a non-const argument to a function that might change it, unless const casted, which cast is another use of const. You can also have const after the end of a function argument list for member functions, saying that the function won't change anything of its own class. That's actually really good explanation, bro. Thank you. It's the other name of gacha games. Yeah. I mean, gacha games are kind of porn games, yeah. Alright, I don't know why. Okay, it still doesn't work. Which in this case, I'm confused. Because it would... No, man. Where is this? Let's see here. Try this. I want to see what's going on here. The increased spawn rate needs to be either 0. Yeah, it needs to be 0, it seems like. Yeah, we're dividing by 0 here. So why is that? 15. We have a value here of 15. And 99. Ah, the more qualifier is 0. I see. This is bad. Okay, that's fine. In the power-ups here. Wait, but I do generate 1. Yeah, I just don't use it. So I don't understand why... I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. Because I think I use 1 here. Why is it 0 then? Let's see, target stat. The target stat is the spawn rate, yeah. It has a base of 0. Hey, stop it. I guess I'll put it here. Let's see, target stat. Has a base of 0, a value of 33, and a value of 1. Ah, I get it now. Since I'm plussing these stats, it generates, I see, a more multiplier of 0. Since I mem set the array to 0, this is why it's breaking. I mean, I could. Guys, do you think this is a good idea? I create an array, and then in the game, when I reset this, I don't do this, but I just say level state power-ups is initialized to 0 like this, and then I just said level state dot power-ups dot count is level state power-ups dot max values, max size. So essentially, so I can index into it, pretending that the array is full. Because then, the reason why this was, like, why it would give me 0 is because when I add two stats together, if one value multiplied by the other value is 0, which is what happens here, it would generate me a 0 value. And the reason why the value was 0 is because I wasn't calling the constructor. This is calling the constructor of each stat. Sorry. So it is essentially calling... It's essentially generating this. The default constructor. On memset it doesn't do that. And so I could solve this... I guess I'm solving it like this. It's fine. Make it work first, then make it correct later, right? Toxic, thank you so much for following, sir. I really do appreciate it. Welcome, bro. Do we see?
Thank
Oh,
you,
wow.
Pikachu's glitch for 250 bits.
Thank you.
Cheer 100, cheer 100,
Holy.
cheer 50.
Thank you so much, Pikachu. 250 bits. We completed the bit goal of 2,000 bits this month. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It's incredible support, bro. Thank you. And Timo, thank you very much for following. Okay, guys, it should work now. And we hopefully have the dry programming out of the way at this point, okay? I would like to get the dry programming out of the way so that we can focus on more interesting things. Come on. Yes, 1.9. Okay, guys, you ready? Polier, thank you very much. You increased the spawn rate, but not the count. The count doesn't matter. The count is not used. The end tick is only important here. The end tick... Is it? Oh, we need that, don't we? Hey, 10x Programmer. Long time no see, bro. Welcome. And Takum Jakum, welcome, bro. Can someone translate? Man. I feel like we are so close. So this is the frequency at which the enemies spawn, right? And so this is where I start and where I end. If I divide that by the frequency, that should still give me a different... Wait a minute. We have a frequency of 1. And then we divide that, now it's a 15. Yeah. It spawns 2. The end tick. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. I get it now. We need to say... The end tick is not this. The end tick is... Spawn batch dot spawn frequency times ticks per second. This is it. Yeah. We got it. This time we got it, guys. And then I need to put that down here too. Epic. We got it. This guy knows math. Yeah. 2 times as many enemies are spawning right now, guys. 40. I can now affect the spawn rate using a stat. It depends on how I want to do it, but I can now do it. I like it. It's awesome. I'm happy. This is really cool. He's missing, but I have another unit. And you see how much I earn more every level? You see this? I just made the first round longer. However, I still managed to get enough money to essentially have more units on the field right now. So the game changes. It looks good, true, 100%. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Now we have 50 enemies spawning. Damn, look at all of the enemies. Uh-oh, it spawns 2 of these. Uh-oh. No. Oh, no! No, please! Okay. Wow, I can... LOL? That's so OP. I don't even need to do anything else. Well, okay. Now we need to add the movement speed to enemies. We need to affect their movement speed, how fast they run. So that would be enemy follow path, I think. Their movement speed here needs to be added by the game state, level state, dot power-ups, dot on stat movement speed. Get start value ignore base. And now the enemies should run how much faster? The enemies will run 30% faster. How about we make them 100% faster, so 300% faster. Why does this not work? I want Cakez to see it. Alright, I filled my bingo card, Cakez. Doesn't pay attention. Then where's your bingo, by the way? Doesn't pay attention, then reads random message and responds true 100%. Chat, you don't understand. Truth equals ban. Gets German level mad. Are you an idiot? Burps. Opens paint. You're so lucky. Being wholesome for once. Gets mad because he's interrupted. I actually... I got mad today. I burped today too, yeah. I mean... Vertical N. Shut the fuck up. That's fucking toxic, bro. Didn't open balloons yet? No, we opened Vampire Survivors today. Why is this not working? It should give me that. For every target stat. Right? Load Metaprogression? Yeah, we're gonna have to do that later. Yeah. There we go. So let's mark this as A so we don't have to go here. We go through all of the target stats. That's odd. So the first target stat is spawn rate. The next one is movement speed. So what is the issue here? Ah, I see, it takes a base, but we ignore the base. So the final stat is 300% increased. And then the power-ups. Okay, wait, how about we do this? Level, state, power-ups on, stat, movement speed. Let's see. Wait, what does it not show me that? No operator? Eh? No, it is. Lol. What are you talking about? Eh? Are you dumb? Huh. Oh my god. I see. It doesn't understand. So dot elements on stat movement speed. There we go. Okay, so base value 0. A more value of 1. An increased value. And so, but now should be 300. Alright. And then enemy follow path. Movement speed. I plus this together. Or do I just multiply this by the value? Which would be 3 essentially. multiply that? Or do I plus the stats together first? Nah. I see. I guess if I multiply this, then it's a more multiplier. I think that's crazy though. I want every enemy to be 20% faster, not multiply. Oh man, that would be crazy, but I guess that's how I have to do it. So now everything is 3 times faster. Oh wow, look at how fast they run. It is correct now, but dude, it does work. Thumbnail showed a bingo. Was it a game dev bingo? Yeah, it was a game dev bingo, yeah. Like, for example, using C++, writing constant function, and following clean code principles. Something like that, yeah. It's very interesting, you know. We do that a lot here. Cool. We have this implemented as well. Now we have Metaprogression, where enemies move faster based on the power-ups. That's a multiplier to the final value, so that's crazy. Fun added 0? You're wrong. You're wrong, bro. This was the first, and now gold generation. Okay, so gold generation is something we have to do as well. I think I want to do in-game chest opening. This is where we add gold. Every time I have, let's see, gold. Unlock choices. Money gain. There we go, money gain. Over here, that would be gold generation. Float. Gold. Multi. Would be level state. Power-ups. On. Stat. Gold generation. And that is get. Stat. Value. Ignore base. There we go. And then we multiply that by the gold multi. Okay, we got it. Cool. Now that's also fixed. And the cool thing is, I can now affect these power-ups while the game's running. So if I think a certain power-up level is too high, well, I just change the value here. I have everything in one place. I can see the entire stats in one place. I don't have it spread out somewhere else. And I can affect these stats with different... from different locations, essentially. Let's see. So now they are 10% faster. Let's see how this looks. Or 30% faster. Okay, this is how fast they are. What about 1%? So 3% faster, essentially nothing. They got slower. Okay, what about 20? So now it makes them 60% faster. Look how fast they get. I like it. I like it a lot. That's awesome. So I think I'm gonna go with 10% here. And the spawn rate, obviously it's gonna be 10% as well. And then we get 5% more gold. And then we'll have to figure out a cool way of using gold later as well. Other than just Metaprogression, of course. I remember something about, maybe it was Jonathan Blow that went through the clean code principles and more or less concluded that it lowered the performance of code by a ridiculous amount. That was Casey Moratori, and the video that you're talking about is called Clean Code Terrible Performance, I think. Clean Code. YouTube. Stop it. Clean Code, Horrible Performance, this video right here. It's a very popular video from Handmade Hero. I can recommend if you guys wanna listen to it or watch it yourself. It's a really good video. And maybe I even react to it in the future, but I already did, essentially. I already watched it. But I think he's completely right here. And the optimizations he's shown me, or he shows in the video, are very good optimizations. Cool, now we have our first... I want to say that I want to have 50% more gold. I want to see if this works. Let's put another unit here. Here. Wonder what happens here. This is still not correct. Okay. Pickups. Oranges. There we go. And then over here we do gold times equals gold generation. Gold multi. There we go. Let's see if this works. Now it gives me 62 gold. Because I increase the gold generation with this Metaprogression stat by 50% for each level, and we have level 3. $16 levels of indentation. Yeah, here, you mean this? Yeah, that's bad, I know. Okay, cool. Now that we have the first thing done, we also need to add in costs, essentially. A power-up has costs. And so, let's see. Metaprogression power. Power-up. It has an array of costs. I guess. That we need to add to it too. And I think I want to turn this into an array of costs. Max. Progression level, I guess maximum is 5 costs. No, actually I don't want to use an array. I want to use it like this. And then over here we can define the costs which are after this. So dot costs. So how much would this cost, right? The increased spawn rate. I think it should start with 1,000 gold, then go over to 250, go over to 4, and then ultimately stop at 10. And maybe on 10k we do something else. But for now it's gonna be very steep, because... yeah, I don't know. Maybe there needs to be more that this does other than this. But gold generation is very powerful. And maybe gold could be used for more than just meta progression in the future. And Eldritz, thank you very much for following. I didn't even notice that. Thank you, bro. Is the notification off or something? Add something fun now, not just something, wow, pork so many things on screen. This is crazy. It's low effort, like your React content. I'm gonna do 10% more gold for now. Alright, guys, we have the first power-up in the game. Cool, the Deadly Swarm. And now we can work on the other ones and start removing existing power-ups.